Blah blah. Mike seems to be working. Hello, welcome. Hello, good people of the world. Welcome to another video and stream. Tonight we're gonna do a new tour. We will commence the what was I about to call it? The Ring Road Rally Tour, which is on Iceland. And we will start at the airport Keflavik, which is the international airport of Iceland. And then we're going to do a tour all around the island along the famous ring road, because that one is cool and there's so much to see and so much to discover. First of all, let me go to Discord here and be able to talk to the guys once they arrive in the channel. And I also have, the other day I told you guys, if you were watching the stream on Twitch, that I bought a new plane, new aircraft, and that is the Britten-Norman Islander. It's a nice plane. It's got some minor issues, mostly cosmetic, because it's some of the textures are, as you can see, they're still flickering. I have no idea if this is something related to. We could actually try this out in a second. Whether this is related to the frame generation stuff, let's see. Go to the settings and reduce frame generation. Let's turn that off for a minute and go back and see what's happening. Nope, doesn't have anything to do with frame generation, so that is something they're going to have to fix eventually. Go. Resume. Okay, tonight I also have, we're going to be using say intentions for this. I will try to figure out whether it actually makes sense to. Let me start from scratch. I'm not able to do multitasking here. I need to load up the flight plan. Let's hope this works. Yep, do I have my notes here? Yes, I do. That's good. So the idea is to have, say, intentions basically tell us at every waypoint what is going on there. But some of the spots here, Iceland, for example, has, I'm going to show you on the map real quick. Iceland's had some eruption in the last couple of years, some eruptions around the area of Grindavik. And, for example, this area here, that's something that I wanted to pick up on in the flight plan. We're probably not going to be able to see anything on the regular satellite map because the material, the satellite imagery is probably way too old. But we're going to fly over these areas here where they have been eruptions recently, and just take a look at how this stuff looks in real world a little bit. So we're going to start from Keflavik, fly to the Blue Lagoon, which I have been personally, I've been there, and it's awesome. And then we're going to fly to Reykjavik and all kinds of interesting waypoints along the way. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. And now's the time to try something. What's the time? 2050. Is the time to try something I couldn't do before while I was using the Kodiak, that because that was a plane for Flight Simulator 2020. And this one here, the Islander is a bit more advanced because it was built for 2024, which means that in some regards this thing might actually work better. So there are a couple of things that to start this plane up, to start the engines. Usually you start with I think is the starboard engine, the right one, but because of limitations that I have with my Alpha Yug, I'm going to start both engines at the same time. Doesn't really matter in the simulator environment. So let's go ahead and turn on all the necessary switches and all that. Prop full forward, introduce the fuel. Open up the fuel tanks, fuel pumps on both sides, and all magnetos on, and then let's see if we can start the planes. Yes, it works. That's nice. I'm going to have to reduce the volume inside the simulator because these engines are quite a bit more noisy than the ones on the, let's go to 15. Aircraft engines, we can actually go ahead and reduce the volume of the engines. That might be a good idea. And I'm going to reduce the character voices to 0 because I don't want to have any ATC interfering here. Oh, the engines are still pretty loud. Let's try to adjust that a little better. Let's go to 25% maybe. Still too much. How about 15? It's still a little bit too much, but well. We can turn off the fuel pumps now. And the external stuff, this looks good. We're going to reduce the overall volume to 25. There we go. That's better. Let's see. Yeah, that's good enough. Okay, now I wanted to try to load up a flight plan here. So, because that might actually work with this plane. With a K100 it doesn't work, but with this one it might work. Ring Road Rally 2024. Here we go. Let's see what it does. Let's see what it does. Oh, that looks pretty good. No. Wait a minute. Sent to avionics. Nope, that does not work. That does not work. Why does it not work? Sent to ATC and avionics? No, still doesn't work. For some reason, regular waypoints, unless you have airports as waypoints, the route will not be transferred into the system, as you can see. This is not how it's supposed to work. Or is it? No, it is. It does work, for crying out loud. Hi there. Mawar. How do you do? You're a little silent, really. It's hard to understand what you're saying. But it does work. That's awesome. Let's activate the GPS here and configure the autopilot. We're not going to fly at a very high altitude because we want to do some sightseeing. Let's go to say 3,000 feet. And so how do you do? I'm sorry, you're really very silent. It's only getting noise mostly. So, are you? No, you're not. Kenny, probably. Is Mawar your nickname in the simulator too?
You hear me now?
Yeah, it's a little better, but still, I'm almost deaf. You need to. I can basically try to turn on to turn up the volume of your voice. Please do say something again.
You hear me?
Yes, that's better. That's better.
And the air conditioner was on my face, so now it's okay.
Okay, excellent. So, that's the first time you're joining us here. That's very nice, I think. Right?
Really, this is my first group flight.
Oh, okay. That's nice you chose us to join in. There's so many group flights out there, but sometimes it's you've got a lot of choice.
Yeah. So the flight plan, I loaded to the flight sim, and
Yeah, what most of the time what really happens is that people are joining the flight and then they're just going to follow either me or Vinny, because most of the time some other guy from the United States, we're flying together most of the time, and he's usually better prepared than I am. I don't know why, but he's usually taking the lead, and we're just going to follow him. But you might have seen that there is a flight plan available for download on the website, so you can. Where do you know the starting point, the starting airport?
it's BIKF.
Exactly. That's Keflavik on Iceland.
And what are the settings? It's all players, and I think, and
Yes, all players, and you're supposed to join the West Europe multiplayer server.
the weather.
I chose few clouds because in reality, if you choose real weather, you're going to have IFR conditions. But since this tour is really about sightseeing, it doesn't really make sense to have a lot of clouds. So I did change the weather to a few clouds, so it doesn't look as boring, but you can still see the landscape.
Oh, nice. You are now in the airport.
I am on the airport. Yes, I am, and Jim. I'm sorry. Vinny is about to join us. He's already spawned here at some parking spot. Hasta la vista, baby. Oh no, that's the wrong line.
I'm in runway 19. Well,
Yeah. Let's see. Hey, Vinny.
How you doing?
Excellent. Cannot complain. How about you?
Same here.
That is awesome. So I'm explaining Moir. He's a first timer here in our little group. That's awesome.
Okay. It is.
Yeah, we can go to runway 19. That might be a good choice. Yes. So can you see us? I think there are a couple of planes here. Yes, I can see you. You are Maor Metitu.
Yes.
Excellent. I would suggest to add you as a friend if that's okay with you, because then it's going to be easier
Yes.
to
In
catch up.
the game.
Yes, in the game. I'm going to do that. You're going to see a pop up. Let me just
Okay.
more. What's the name? Does this thing not have autocomplete? For crying out loud. If I want to add a friend, it does not suggest. Come on. Oh, dude. You cannot be serious. Maor Matitiu. Matitiu. I literally have to write it all out. There's no suggest function here. That's sad.
Okay.
Or you. There we go. Yep. Now you should have gotten a friend request. I'm not sure if you can see it if you're in the plane, but we'll see.
Yes, I accepted now.
Excellent. So, Vinny, I don't know if you have seen that, but I am going to use a different plane on that one.
Islander?
Excuse me? Come again?
The Islander?
Yes. It's awesome.
How did I know?
I'm not sure. It's something that eludes me all the time. You know more than I do. So, let's see. Release to parking. Yeah, it really is awesome. It's a nice plane.
Yeah, it looks nice.
And it flies like a dream. It's even simpler to fly, easier to fly than the Kodiak, really.
It's a
This
2024 plane, so you should be able to load flight plans.
oh, look at the stream, dude. I am able. I was, but the stream is empty. What the heck? There's no.
Where are you with the boat? I don't see.
Come again? Sorry. Device not connected. What the heck? There we go. Did I have an empty stream all the time? What? I don't know. Something is always wrong.
Where are you with the boat now? I don't see.
I can see you, or I was able to see you. Let's just go to the beginning of runway 19, and then I think we should be able to see each other.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because Winnie, if you're looking at the stream right there, I can see all the frickin' waypoints. This is awesome. This is something entirely new for me. Hey there, Atingu.
Hi, I'm late. It's still starting up.
Doesn't matter. We're still trying to figure out why this works and whatnot. I don't know. So let's go to runway 19. How do you do, Artingo?
I'm doing well. It's a beautiful day.
Oh, that's true. On Iceland as well. Once you do some corrections to the weather, because the real weather is not preferable. But that's one of the interesting things about Iceland. You have weather conditions that can be very difficult and challenging, but I mean, this is part of the
Did you
experience.
say you went there in for real?
Yes, I did, like 10 years
Nice.
ago. But the nature is still the same, I guess.
It should be more or less.
I hope. Yeah, but the glaciers have gone away quite a lot.
Oh, really? Even there?
Yes. I have taken a look. There is there are a couple of websites from scientific institute, something like that, and these guys are taking pictures of the glaciers all the time, so you can really see what's been happening the last couple of years. And when I was there, like 10 years ago, I was able to wander on a piece of glacier that does not exist anymore right now. So
Oh, really? Wow.
that is alarming, to say the
Yep.
least.
Because that's what you think about Iceland. You think about untouched nature.
Absolutely. Well, it's far from being untouched anymore, but
Yeah.
but yeah, it's really beautiful. Um, they had so many tourists that they decided to make things quite a bit more expensive
Okay.
in the last couple of years, and there's actually, for somebody who, I would love to go to Iceland, but it's very expensive, and also it's with my little kids, it is going to be a little bit more tedious, because at least back then when I was there, they didn't really have hotels, only in the very big cities, and if you want to go around Iceland, then you need to use guest houses and plan the trip with a lot of
Okay.
attention to detail, and that
Yeah.
you need to be there at any given you need to plan ahead, and that's not something that I like to do with my children, because things always change all the time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Of course, you have to. It's have to be adaptable when you travel with kids.
exactly.
And my brother was there not so long, a few years ago, I think.
Hmm.
And he saw they have a concert house
Yes, they do.
in and he said that the amount of the the percentage of Icelanders that have been in the opera house is like, or the concert house, it was like 80%.
Mm, yeah. You mean
That's
the amount of the population of the city, or what do you
of
mean?
Iceland.
Yeah, about 80. Yeah, well, Iceland only has like 200,000 inhabitants, so there's not a whole lot of people, at least not natives.
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
Yes, it is. And basically most of the people live in Reykjavik, in the capital of Iceland, so there are a couple of other nice cities, but they're rather small, as you will see once we hit each of the cities here.
Yes.
Oh, we've
I'm
got
with you.
so there's more. Then we have Mr. We have Bob the Diddy. Holy cow! There are a couple of people here. F99. I mean, if somebody's watching the stream and has not joined on Discord, you're very welcome, so we can talk to you. Let's wait one more minute for. Hi there, F99. Do you know the Discord? The Discord channel, the Discord server? I mean, you can stay on Twitch as well. I don't mind, but it makes things a little easier if you join the Discord channel. So, Anybody else missing? Let's see. Oh, yes. Oh, we have Killer VRS. Look at that. So many people today. Awesome. And Bob the Didi's waiting up in the air, huh? Okay. So, I guess you just have to for a short while. No big deal. South Sweden. You're not the only one. We've got another Swedish guy here, so... but please do speak English most of the time at least, so we're going to be able to understand. Okay, people, let's go, huh? Everybody good to go? I guess so. Today, since I have the flight plan loaded in my Garmin, I can take the lead today, Vinny.
How unusual.
Yes, that's true. That's completely unusual.
I will be on your 6.
That's so very nice. Something is not right. The rudder trim does, the elevator trim does not work. What the heck? Oh, come on, plane. Not so far from Copenhagen, okay. Oh, let me get settled in here. I'm lost. Activate the autopilot. I need to load up a software here. Now it's working. I'm way too fast. I'm gonna have to get used to this plane.
How fast can you go in that thing?
If I want to, I can go about 160, 170, but that's not what we want to do today.
Right.
We want to fly slow and low. I'm gonna go to 3,000 feet, and then let's see. And let's fly about 110 maybe, because we've got a Cessna 152 with us. There are a lot of wind noises here in this plane. I think I'm going to have to turn down the volume. It's too much. Is there a way to adjust the volume while in the sim? Do I have to? Oh, I'm going to just go ahead and...
You could do it in the Windows mixer. Just find the app and
that's
pull
true.
its output down.
That's true. I could, if I wanted. Let's see, 80. Yeah, the Islander is such a monkey of a plane, really. This thing can climb even harder than the Kodiak. I mean, it does have 2 engines, so, but still. So what I wanted to try in this tour is actually, I've made a couple of remarks for each of the waypoints, but I'm gonna try to let what's his name again, Jutone Murphy, do the sightseeing if he does give some proper answers or some proper information. Otherwise, I'm going to supplement his nonsense with my own remarks. So the first waypoint is the so-called Blue Lagoon. That's let's call it a spa of sorts. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but it's a spa, and it's got very blue water. You can actually see it from from the skies. And let me take a look at my remarks. It's of course I did generate it with some artificial intelligence. I didn't want to write it all down. A pale blue pool giving off slow curls of steam right in the middle of black, broken lava. The water started life as ordinary seawater, but engineers sent it 2 kilometers down to pick up volcanic heat, to use that to heat up, to spin turbines for electricity. And then they let the water flow out at this particular spot here, down here, the Blue Lagoon. And the water has a temperature of 38 degrees Celsius, which is awesome. I can vouch for that. It's actually pretty warm. And it's there's silica in the water and a little amount of blue-green algae. So that's the reason why the water is so blue. And there's also some kind of, I'm not sure what I should call it, but some mud, really, white mud that you can use to create masks for faces, and so beauty stuff. And it smells of sulfur, really, because it's obviously it's of volcanic nature, but it's awesome, really. It's very nice to do bathing in there.
What is your altitude?
Excuse me?
What is
3,000.
your altitude?
The altitude is 3,000 feet. That's correct. So the area that we're flying over currently is basically an area where we had a couple of volcanic eruptions lately. If you saw that on the news, maybe because airplane traffic, no, that wasn't affected that much. There was an eruption a couple of years ago that was affecting airplane traffic a lot more than this year's or last year's. I think it began in 2023. There were a couple of eruptions here around the city of Grindavik. And we cannot see the eruptions, of course, because the satellite imagery is too old, but the area that we're flying over was affected. And fortunately, the guys at Grindavik did not have to evacuate, but they did close down temporarily the Blue Lagoon, because that was too close to the actual eruptions and the lava flows. So that's the area around this spot here. And it looks awesome. Even in the simulator, I think it's really beautiful, and a little bit otherworldly. Actually, looks like on a different planet. Yeah, you're right. F99, the Blue Lagoon is very crowded. It's always been, well, we had the good fortune that we were there during the week. And we were not in the high season, so it wasn't completely crowded. But still, I would imagine that it's full of tourists. Really, I mean, it's one of the highlights of all of Iceland for tourists, and it's not far from Reykjavik. The tourists that go there just a couple of days. It's one of the spots that you need to go, obviously, if you cannot spend a lot of time on Iceland. There's also a small ring road, so to speak, just a little, that covers just a little bit of the area around Reykjavik and Selfoss and Thingvellir. That's the short route for people who only have a couple of days' time. But we went there like 4 weeks, so we could see a lot more than the average tourist. What's coming up is the next waypoint is, what's it called? The Trella. I never really know how to pronounce this. It's a Trella Dingja. It's basically it's another volcano It's only 270 meters it's only got an altitude. The peak has only got an altitude of 275 meters, which is less than 1,000 feet. But and it looks a bit like a dinner plate, and it's got striped walls. In reality, you cannot really see that, but it was a part of an ice age glacier, and and there is a sister mountain which is called Grenadingia. That's a couple of miles away, but it all is part of a volcanic system that I think it's some kind of fissure, some continental. Uh, I'm not sure how to explain this. Vinny, do you have an idea? The continental plates where these meet, and then you have a possibility, potentially, some earthquakes and stuff like that. And what else? Let's see. On a clear day, the summit is a bargain box seat. Blah blah blah. Shark fin, and so forth. So in reality, it looks a little bit more spectacular than it does look in the simulator, but still, look at all these awesome lava fields. This is that's always a sight to see. And for those of you who I haven't had the opportunity to talk to, oh, now I know why we have wind sounds here. My window's open. Crying out loud, dude. Iceland doesn't have trees, almost no trees on this entire island, because at some point I think the Icelandic people decided to basically cut down every single tree, and nature had a hard time to regrow them. There are a couple of small areas on the island that still has trees, but most of the island does not have any trees. Unfortunately, the simulator does not really recognize that. You can see a lot more trees than there should be. So don't mind Microsoft. They're still in the process of optimizing it, I guess. I hope. But looking down right now here, I cannot see any trees. Oh, yes, there are. There we go. There are trees. There should not be here. So the next waypoint, we're approaching Reykjavik, and there's one particular building in this entire city. Apart from the concert hall that we were talking about earlier, there is a church, and that church is called Hallgrímskirkja. And that church is awesome. We need to get down and lower the altitude so you can see it properly, because it's being replicated in this sim quite nicely. It looks like the real thing. I'm going to turn off the autopilot here. It really looks like the real thing, and it's awesome. It's a great architecture. Let's see. And after we have, and after looking at the Kirkja here, we're gonna make a short touch and go at the airport of at the local airport of Reykjavik. That's the domestic airport. No international flights, as far as I know. Do you guys, does somebody not have the flight plan active currently? Because if you don't, you're not going to be able. I need to point your nose at the church. It's not easy to see unless you're very low.
I have it, so yeah.
Okay, excellent. Okay. F99. Do you have a name? I mean, I'm not. I don't want to. I don't want to. Talk, I don't want to say F99 all the time. That makes me feel like I'm talking to a robot. Hey F99. I would appreciate a name, some kind of nickname at least. Mats. Okay. That's nice, Mats.
I put a couple of screenshots in the gallery for you on the Discord.
Excellent. Of screenshots of what? The church?
The church.
Oh, excellent. Thank you. That's good.
Yeah, I'm always flying my drone around. You know me.
Mm-hmm. I know. It's a good idea. Somebody has to do the photography part.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to land in this airport. Or...
Yeah, if you want to, we can also. I'm gonna do a touch and go just for for uh, for the kick. But there, look at this. This is an awesome church. They even put some cars on the parking lot. It really looks like that almost in reality. It's not perfect, but it's good enough to get an idea. Yeah, let's just do a touch and go and at the airport. Or does somebody need to make a break after like 5 minutes of flying? I guess not. You can choose the you can choose freely the runway that you want to use.
19 looks good for the wind.
Mm-hmm. So what are you guys flying? I didn't see everybody. I think Vinny, you're flying the C201, the Grand Caravan, and I think that Mats is flying. Aren't you flying a Cessna 152, something like that? What's everybody flying? So we can. I would like to fly. Oh, Mauer. You're flying you're flying a 172. Okay.
I mean, what's it called? The Havilland, the Viking DH2, the small one.
The Beaver?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that's a nice plane as well.
I love it.
That's an old school plane. Okay, let's see what's up next. So Reykjavik is actually a very, very beautiful city. It's got it's not something that you can experience in the simulator, but the city center is full of bars, and there is an art scene which is that I'm not sure if any German city has something like this, but there's the very lively art scene, and Reykjavik is really an awesome city to live in, I guess, and to visit as well. And but I did fall into a tourist trap. I tried to eat whale because I was interested in how it tastes. It basically tastes like old tires. I'm not sure if these guys gave me something that was not because they wanted to just treat me like the tourist that I was, but it really didn't taste well. My wife was a lot more clever. She chose a proper dish, but I wanted to taste whale, and it tastes like an old tire basically. It wasn't any good. Or I'm just not used to it. That might also be a case. So I'm going to slow down to about 110 knots, so everybody's going to be able to follow. The next waypoint will be, yeah, sure, Mutz. That's great. You're allowed to cheat if you want to later on, if you can rejoin at some point. The next waypoint will be Thingvellir. That is an interesting spot, because let me take a look at my notes. I don't have any. That's unfortunate. Why am I missing the notes here? Doesn't matter. I think let's talk to what's his name again? For crying out loud. Tuto Murphy. Let's ask him what Thingvellir really is. Let's see what he says. Hey Murph, would you like to tell me a couple of things about there is a spot on Iceland which is called Thingvellir. Unfortunately, it does not work. What's going on with Murphy? Did I do something wrong here? Nope, he's active. He should be talking to me. Murph, what's going on? That guy doesn't talk. Hello? Not even ATC is answering, so either there's a problem with say intentions, or I don't know. Should increase the speed before I stall. Something is wrong with the autopilot. Come on, dude. Ghastly plane. So, let's see if that guy works. Murphy? Nope. No dice. Something is wrong. So, Thingvellir basically is, if I remember correctly, that was a spot where the Icelandic people gathered, and it was some kind of, let's call it a primitive version of a parliament, where guys were it was actually basically some kind of democratic convention, really. I'm not sure if it was entirely democratic, but people would discuss matters there. They would come from all over the place and hold some discussions, and there was always some kind of fair going on. People would sell stuff and trade and get to know each other and exchange things and news and all that. So it was basically a mass gathering of people from, I'm not sure from where they came, from which from which distance, but I would say that people were coming from all over Iceland to visit that area, and it was some kind of it was just a gathering of all kinds of people and tribes, and it was and they have some really nice tourist information down there. And Thingvellir, if I remember correctly, is also a place where you have, if you're a diver, you have the opportunity to go into there is some kind of hole in the ground between two tectonic plates, and you can do some pretty awesome cave diving, I think. But you need to know your stuff, and you cannot do it alone. You always need guides because it's dangerous. And there were people that got lost and never came back. So it's something that you only should do with guides. And but the Thingvellir area, it's also got I think it looks at some point at some areas it looks a bit like Stonehenge, because they have big rocks situated there. I'm not sure if it actually shows up in the simulator, but we're going to be able to see at least the area. We're going to be able to recognize that there is something there. That was some kind of interesting spot. I think I flew over it in Flight Sim 2020. The last time I took a look at it, and we already had something there, so I would suggest that I would expect that there's something to be seen here in 2024 as well. Is everybody still here? Let's take a look around. There are a couple of... Oh, there's Parabolic C. He's behind us. And...
Yes, coming up.
Oh, that's you, Artingo. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You should rename yourself, please. I'm not really... I'm an idiot. There's Zimby from the Netherlands, obviously, and there are a couple of people here. And where is Vinny? Cannot see you. Did I lose you?
Closer than you think.
Somewhere below me? Inside me? Oh no, you're ahead of me down there. Okay. Excellent. Very nice. Thingvellir. There is a special. There are a couple of things that that if you want to try to pronounce things correctly in Icelandic, there are a couple of rules. For example, if you have, I'm not sure if it's like that for every single word that has a double L, two L's after one another. But you're not going to pronounce it Thingvellir, but Thingvellir. There's always some kind of D or T before the L's. Actually, that's how you pronounce it. Thingvellir or Jósafjörður. There is a special pronunciation to that. And when I first asked about the area to some local, we were trying to get directions because I didn't have a navigation system. I always said Thingvellir, and he would try to correct me and say Thingvellir. He was emphasizing the T all the time. I thought, what the heck? What are you doing? And later on, I learned that it's a special way to actually say the word. So what do you think about the landscape? I'm not sure the greenish hues that you can see there, and I'm not sure if it's entirely accurate. I don't remember it being like that, but that might also be some inaccuracy from the satellite imagery. But it's awesome, right? It totally looks like a different planet.
I thought it was going to be more like the surface of the moon, but it's really green.
Yeah, there's actually quite a lot of greenery, and you have flowers. There's a special breed of flowers that is occupying almost the entire, at least the areas where things can grow. You see a lot of a specific type of flower. I don't remember what it was, but it usually grows in 3 different colors, which I think is white and purple and some kind of pinkish hue. And I'm not sure what the flower is called, but it's you can find it anywhere, and it grows really quick, and also it grows everywhere basically. And at some point, the Icelandic people thought that it might basically overgrow everything else because it's almost like a parasitic entity. It's always growing everywhere.
Cool.
I'm not sure if it's cool, but it's good to know. The Icelandic people probably don't think it's. But I've made a couple of photos. There are vast fields with these flowers, and it looks so beautiful. And you would not expect that to be some kind of growth that you don't want to have. But it looks beautiful.
Yeah, field of flowers. That sounds all right.
Yes, it is. So right below us, if right below the actual waypoint here, Thingvellir, you can see that there's a parking lot and all that, and the green fields down there. These are I think still today, they're gatherings because some kind of tradition stuff that's going on. And these fields were used for these mass gatherings, and it's a nice place, really. And there's also a museum and some Viking stuff for kids to play with, and so it's good fun. And the next waypoint is a geyser. I'm not sure if that actually works in the. I didn't see it yet in the simulator that it actually ejects steam and water, but it's an awesome area because in reality you have a couple of geysers, actually, not just one, I think, and it's quite active. So you can see the earth pumping out steam all the time, and it's accessible from even it's a barrier. It's what is it called in English? If it's barrier free, if people with certain disabilities can go there because they have nice wooden ways where you can go with even if you're in a wheelchair or something like that. I think.
Oh, I see. You mean they made it like accessible to people?
Exactly, accessibility. It's they did it. They did very well when it comes to accessibility.